Radhe, Radhe. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. May this be an offering to Sri Radha Krishna. And as we await our first guests, allow me to set the intention for this space as being a welcoming environment open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, ethnicity, belief system, what the number of moles on your left arm is. Unless you have exactly 13, then get out of here. Just kidding. Welcome. Hello, Nick. You are very early. Welcome. May you all find this space for you to be a comfortable, accepting, and welcoming environment. Let us come together as fellow spiritual seekers to uplift each other, relate in one another's experiences, and share positive sentiments. Welcome. Hello, G2 Infinity. Hello, Rachel. Thank you, Nick. Have a good time playing some video games. Welcome, Sky Guardian. Hello, Dansuela. Hello, Romy. Thank you. Yes, I had a good time repotting Tulasi Devi. It was lovely. And I trust that you all are as well as you can be, given whatever circumstances may be going on for you at this time in your life. I know that life can be messy and complex, unpredictable. During these times, you may have a variety of feelings arise, variety of thoughts, emotions, and you are valid amidst all of the changing turmoil. It is a very lovely plant, G2 Infinity. Hello, Raven. Sky Guardian, you say, I made you wait, so now I gotta read a bit more of the book. Is that how it works, eh? Well, we will read. And thank you, Jen Singh, for blessing us with a paper crane. Hari Om Tat Sat. That's awesome, Heartbreak. All my best wishes to you. And Romy, thank you for your tiny. Yippee! I think I can turn myself up a little bit. There, I think that's better. Now I have a question of the day for you all, if you are interested. Today I am wondering from you, where is it? If you could give one thing to everyone, what would it be? If somehow a genie could grant your wish and that you could have a gift for everyone, what would you give everybody? Happiness, says Veronica. Good answer. Hope, says Niall. I love that. Empathy, says Shozen. Good health, says Laudomia. Peace, says Moon. Everybody loves Raven, you share enlightenment. I would give enlightenment. The ultimate gift, isn't it? Heartmug, you share that you'd give them their favorite memory to live again. That's so sweet and personal. I love that. And thank you, Usha, for your heartbeat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Gratitude, shares Viper. Self-awareness, says Isaac. I love that. Worcestershire sauce, says Cronkmat. Yeah, on one qualification, they have to be able to pronounce it, otherwise they don't get any, right? And that's an interesting question, King Mikey. Honestly, I am unfamiliar with demonology, the study of demons. I believe the more we spend our attention on the positive things, then the more positive our lives will be. And peace of mind, says Great John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Food, says Anna. I love that. It is a difficult question, Brian, isn't it? Many different avenues of approach. And Asma, thank you for your heart me. Hariom Tat Sat. And King Mikey, thank you for your 20 roses. Jai Sitaram. Mr. G1000, you share the ability to love you next. Interesting. I think the ability to love is a beautiful gift. Hamster, says Asma. Oh my goodness. Everyone would have to take care of a little hamster? Mike, that is a chaotic answer, I have to confess. Thank you, Laudomia, for your 6x6 roses. 36. I think that's the most satisfying square in my mind. 6 times 6 is 36. Thank you. Radhe, Radhe. And Brian, thank you for your friendship necklace. Jai Sita Ram. And King Mikey, thank you for another heart me. Sky Guardian, you would give a good smack. Hey. What would Pramukh Swami Maharaj say to that? We'll find out, I guess. Cosmic Cutie, do you think the ability to be happy would be a good gift? I love that. And, you know, I think it's funny you phrase it like that. We all have the ability to be happy. Sometimes we just don't know how to exercise that ability. Community, says Kelly Jones. And my day has been well so far. Thank you, sweet baby. Brian, you would give sriracha. Kayla, you would give money honey. Money honey. It's the currency for the bees. And welcome, Kristen. Barry, you would give love for sure. I like that. Be the good you share, that you would give the ability to see how beautiful they are inside and out. Self-love wins. Well, I love that answer. Sweet baby, you ask, how do I spell the New Hampshire state? Well, you've already spelt it for me, so exactly as you have written it. Thank you, King Mikey, for another 10 roses. Jai Sitaram. Sky Guardian, you would give knowledge of veganism. That is a better answer. I'll take it. And thank you, Linda, for your 37 roses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Isaac, you would also give a unified understanding of the cosmos and our place within. Wow, what a gift to receive. And Don Suela, you would give compassion and understanding for one another. I love these answers. Radhe, Radhe, Gregorji, you would give a genie lamp with unlimited wishes installed. Ooh, what a meta answer. you would give everyone the possibility of getting something, not just something, anything they desired, boy, I think the world would blow up within minutes and also put itself back together again, over and over and over again. It'd be a very chaotic few days until we established some international wish council and had every country sign agreements on what we can wish for and when. There would have to be a lot of structure imposed. And Auntie, you would give unconditional love. How wonderful. And Crossfires, you'd give them a hug. That was the answer I was looking for. You know, normally I'm not looking for an answer, but today I was waiting for someone to say that. So you win the brownie points today, Crossfires. Thank you. And thank you, Be the Good, for your rose. And King Mikey, thank you for your 9 roses. Jai Sita Ram. And thank you everyone for attending to my question of the day today. I think you all have lovely answers. Except for Sky Guardian, who wanted to give everyone a smack. Although, to be fair, I think a lot of us could use a good smack, you know. Especially from the universe. Like, hey, what are you doing? Get it together. And Mihai, thank you for your heart meme. I like your answer as well, Borderline Pam. Radical acceptance. So many wonderful answers, and I'm sure we could keep exploring this question. And if you want to, you're welcome to. I am just going to move on to our next section. When I do upload the recording of this to YouTube, in the comment section there, you have more space to really think about it. So if you had a good answer that may come to you now or later, and I didn't get a chance to read it out for you, then you're welcome to put it there at least. Now, we will read from another section of In Love at Ease, and then we'll open the floor to questions and answers. But this book has been gifted to me by Sky Guardian, the proceeds of which go to tribal education in India, which is, I think, a very lovely and charitable thing to do. It's a book about Pramukh Swami Maharaj and everyday spirituality with him. Right now, the author, Yogi Trivedi, is recounting 3 stories that we are opening the book with to get us in touch with the kind of encounters millions of people had with such a great guru. We had read the first one, which was called I Am Sorry. This one is called We Have a Birthday to Celebrate. No? So I hope you all listen with me as we read this wonderful short story. It was the summer of 2004, and His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj was commencing his spiritual tour of North America. There was much anticipation around this trip, for Swami Shri was slated to inaugurate 2 traditional stone-carved Hindu mandirs, temples, in Houston and Chicago. It was a historic moment for the entire Hindu community in North America. Swami Shri was calm as ever. Having arrived in John F. Kennedy International Airport, he walked into the newly renovated temple in Flushing, New York, and stood in front of the deities. His physicians had warned him not to bend down and prostrate on the ground in front of the murtis, the sacred images, because of his health issues, and he had many. Yet, he was insistent. He had not visited this mandir in 4 years, and this was, after all, the first Swami Narayan mandir in North America. Swami Shri prostrated 5 times in the traditional Dandavat manner by lying flat on the ground in front of the deities in the shrine. He turned around and met the bhaktas, the devotees, from a distance. As he was headed back to his room to shower, eat, and rest, he walked past the audio-visual room. The room had a slightly elevated entrance on the side of the walkway. A few volunteers had gathered there and hoped to catch a glimpse of their guru. Swami Shri walked up to the doorway and stopped in front of me. I looked at him with folded hands and slight trepidation. Why had he stopped? And why was he staring at me in silence? One of the attendant sadhus broke the silence. "Swami Shri, this is Yogi, that boy, the one who made you apologize," as we heard in the previous story. Everyone laughed, except for me and Swami Shri. Swami Shri rubbed his hands on his stomach in a circular motion and gestured with a questioning hand. No one understood our wordless conversation, but I knew exactly what he was inquiring about. Exactly 1 year ago, I had traveled to India during my senior year of college with other youths from the United Kingdom and North America. We were to learn and serve alongside Swami Shri in the rural villages of Gujarat. Swami Shri had warned all of us to be cautious of where we ate and what we drank. Tap water and certain foods were sure to make visitors ill during the monsoon. Once again, I failed to listen. I dined out with a few friends at the roadside Italian restaurant in Ahmedabad and fell ill. The physicians initially thought it was malaria and treated me with 3 large chloroquine injections. It was not fun at all, and certainly not what I had envisioned for myself during this trip. I started to show some improvement, but experienced a relapse on the day of my birthday. I was standing by the doorway to Swami Shri's room in Ahmedabad on that morning. He walked by me and asked me how I was feeling. I smiled faintly and said all was well. He again asked with a smirk, as if he had expected a different answer. He walked into the room and prepared for his meetings. Several minutes later, I received a call from the doctor with the pathology results. Turned out I had jaundice, not malaria. I was frightened. That was not the news I wanted to receive on my birthday while traveling with Swami Shri. Later that evening, I was slouching by the door. I had lost the strength in both my mind and heart to fight the illness. I even wondered if I should go back home. Swami Shri walked past me. "Happy birthday, Yogi. How are you feeling?" I whined. "Jiv jai evu lage che." I feel like my soul is going to leave my body. Swami Shri stopped and turned around swiftly. He put his hand on my heart and teased, "And do you think I will let that happen? How dare your soul leave? It is my responsibility to care for you. You must stay strong. Have faith. It will pass. Illness is a part of life. Embrace it. Life goes on if you let it. Don't let the people around us scare you. I will have you transferred to the clinic for the sadhus downstairs. You will be fine. Where are all your medical reports? Give them to the sadhu who looks after my health and medical records. I want to make sure you are taken care of diligently." A young sadhu standing close by suggested, "Swami Shri, he has family in Ahmedabad. Maybe he should go there to rest for a bit." Swami Shri cut him off mid-sentence. "He did not come here to visit that family. He came here to be with me. We are going to take care of him. We are his family. He stays with us." The room went quiet, but my face lit up. Swami Shri turned around to look at me after taking a few steps. "And Yogi, happy birthday. We will celebrate together in a few weeks." For the next 6 weeks, Swami Shri's attendants took care of my every need, from the lemon water I sipped to the mung dal and dates I ate. Even my allopathic, Ayurvedic, and homeopathic medicines were managed by Swami Shri's personal attendant. Swami Shri visited me in the sadhu's clinic on the ground floor 3 times during the remainder of our stay in Ahmedabad. He sent the Murti, the divine form of Hare Krishna Maharaj, Bhagwan Swami Narayan, with which he traveled to bless me every morning after his daily prayer ritual. I had never been cared for in this way before, or after that experience. It was the type of selfless love and deep concern one could not buy, be born into, or find easily in a lifetime. It is very wholesome, small, isn't it? At the end of 6 weeks, the doctor said I could finally start eating fatty foods and sweets. It had seemed like a lifetime. We arrived that morning in Bharuch in southern Gujarat. Swami Shri was about to sit down for his lunch when his personal attendants reminded him that the 6-week period of my dietary restrictions had come to an end. Swami Shri was thrilled. He looked at the items in front of me and ordered the sadhu to bring a large packet of jalebi and sata for me. Swami Shri, there's a footnote. Jalebi is a fried sweet made with fermented wheat dough, soaked in molasses with saffron and cardamom. Sata is a sweet made with grains that is soaked in ghee, clarified butter, and coated with sugar. Swami Shri added 2 more sweets from his own wooden bowl to those and handed me the massive folded envelope. I could barely hold on. Several bhaktas, devotees seated in front of Swami Shri, sprung up to help me. Swami Shri smiled and said, "Everyone is going to want to help you. They want a piece of that prasadi," the sanctified food offering. "Do me a favor. Sit next to me and get started on your meal. I want to make sure that you get to eat all of it. After all, we have to make up for your spoiled birthday celebration." Tears instantly welled up in my eyes. Swami Shri had taken care of my spirit and medical treatment, and now my birthday celebrations. It all came full circle, approximately 13,000 kilometers away, a year later, in Flushing, New York. He put his hand on my stomach and asked, "Can you eat now? We should celebrate again." In America, your birthday is in a few days, no? I was speechless, not just because of what he said or did, but that he had remembered. How he must have genuinely cared to have remembered my illness, its symptoms, and my birthday. The summers of 2003 and 2004 came to be etched in my heart forever for the lessons of selfless love and service taught to me by my Guru. Swami Shri was serving the divine he saw within me while simultaneously teaching me to view the world in the same way. These lessons became a benchmark for me and enabled me to see the divine in those around me. Swami Shri also taught me important lessons in Atmanistha, love for the divine within the self, understanding that the Atman is one's true form, the consciousness, the soul. He wanted me to realize that pain and suffering were a part of life. I could find the strength to face them through realizing the strength of my Atman, my inner self. My disease had healed and disappeared, but these chronic lessons of love, service, and Atmanistha would stay with me for the rest of my life. And with that, we finish reading the second story of the trio. We have a birthday to celebrate, no? And later on, we may read the third of the trio. Faith and trust are the ultimate markers of love. So I thank you for listening with me. And I hope that was a suitable story and for you, Sky Guardian. I welcome everyone who joined during our reading as well. And now we may open up the floor to questions and answers. In the meantime, do allow me to thank those who sent a gift whilst I read. In particular, Auntie, thank you for your pair of tiny tinies. Yahoo! And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roses. A fire. Hari Om Tat Sat. And another trio of tiny tinies. Yahoo! And hello, Chloe. And I'm glad you liked the story, Kristen. And hello. How do I pronounce your lovely name? Kara or Sarah? One of the two. Is it with a hard C or a soft C? And thank you, Mr. Mate, for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Mahina, thank you for your trio of roses. Jai Sita Ram. Radhe Radhe Jai. And Chris Morton, thank you for your ice cream cone. Marcy, you ask, are thoughts themselves understood? Each thought is a doorway to understanding, and we don't have to walk through all of them to get to the room which they all lead into. Consider truth like a big gymnasium that has doors on all its sides. Some say you should go through this door. Others say, no, you must go through that door. Everyone seems to be going through different doors. But once you get on the inside, you all laugh. You laugh with each other. You say, I was just messing with ya. Clearly, we have all ended up in the same spot. It didn't matter which route we took to get here. And thank you, Rebcor, for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Tattvam Asi, thank you for your quintet of roses. Kiroronov, you ask what I think is a question, or a set of them. Mind you, you have had some exercise in trying to condense these words into a format that'll fit within a TikTok comment. But you ask, answer to an atheist who asks, who am I? What makes me me? Where am I? And what makes me here? Who am I? To an atheist? Well, the answer is the same regardless of what you believe. What you are is Atman, undivided consciousness. What makes you you? Your individual experiences from the standpoint of consciousness. And where are you? You have no location. Locations exist relative to you. And what makes you here? Well, you do. Wherever you are, there you are. And that is here for you. And Kate, you share that your puppy went to sleep today. Blessings for him, Charlie. Puppies are such windows into divine humility, such pure portals into one's soul. I am sure that beyond the threshold of sleep, the vibrancy of that soul in Charlie, chasing butterflies, running after cars, eating the shoes of mailmen, it all continues in one way or another. And gardening Gregor G, you share that you have a problem. Groundhog eating leaves from plants in your garden. They can't photosynthesize without. It's true. All the chlorophyll is in the leaves. How do you politely get them to frick off? Well, have you considered inviting the groundhog in for a chat? You can try to rationalize with it. Alright, Mr. Groundhog, I will provide you with grub to chew on, as long as you don't chew on my own shrubs. No, probably not gonna work. The groundhog doesn't know that your shrubs are your shrubs. Groundhog thinks, all these are my leaves. I'm in Mother Nature's hands and she has provided me with this opportunity. I would recommend enforcing some consequences. If you catch that groundhog, spray it with water or something. Get it into its mind, oh, these are not mine to eat. Okay. Or investing in some fences. Or give it a lot to eat somewhere else, and then when it's too full to climb across your yard to go eat your special shrubs, it becomes lazy by how much it has eaten and goes, nah, forget it. These are just my suggestions. I don't know, I've never had to deal with a groundhog in this way before. And you also really thought about leaving him some dog food, and maybe they would get full from that. And you do have fences he dug under? Well, You know, you gotta hand it to him. Very impressive. Sometimes I feel like if someone goes through all the trouble, like in those movies, to break into this art museum, get past all of the layers of security, and escape without a trace, it's almost impressive enough that you should let them. And John F., thank you for your heartbeat, your friendship necklace, and a tiny diny. Yahoo! Naturally, whenever we are trying to cultivate our own little space in Mother Nature, we are going to be at odds with some of her other forces. And thank you for asking, John Simon. My day has been very lovely so far. Thank you. I spent it mostly with my mom as we looked for pot and other materials to plant Tulasi, Devi, Mother Divine in the form of this plant. Hoping the groundhogs don't eat her. Although I don't think I have groundhogs near me. And thank you, Jennifer, for your tiny diny a moment ago. Yippee! Pardon me. Jade, you ask, can you eat Tulasi? I think you can. It is edible. However, you really shouldn't, because it's so divine. It'd be like eating the body of God. You're not even supposed to smell her aroma. Her fragrance is so sacred, only the gods may smell her. And Tortugas Tim, thank you for your applause and cake. Ariom Tatsa. Catholics have been doing that forever though. Alright, you got me there. With the body of Christ. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Fair enough. And people do. Definitely. Mind you, it's all Brahman going into Brahman. That's what Swami Vivekananda used to say. People would ask him, Swamiji, you know, Hinduism is a tradition based on vegetarianism. Why are you not a vegetarian? Swami Vivekananda said, it's just Brahman in the form of food going into Brahman in the form of a mouth. Why does it really matter? And that upset a lot of people. Particularly the Hare Krishnas. They say, this is a very dangerous philosophy. And it is. Brahman is a word that means God, or the Godhead. By the way. And Tanhao, thank you for your heart me. Hariom Tatsa. And Zeta, thank you for your fire and rose. A rose and a fire. And a fire and a rose. Tatvamasi, you share that you can. Actually, a leaf of Tulasi after every morning puja is pretty much normal. And Sky Guardian, you add that Tulsi has many health benefits. Nothing wrong with eating. Okay, alright. I concede. Mind you, if it is eaten, it should be eaten as prasad. Food that has been offered to the Lord first, then it gets sanctified as the main purpose in cultivating Tulasi is for puja. As long as you're not doing it so that you can fill up your tummy, I gather that's fine. Sky Guardian, you also share that now, eating meat is wrong, but Swami Taratmananda Ji is against your vegan preaching. Swami Taratmananda Ji was like, go to Vaishnava channels and preach. In fact, they'll love it. Yes, I think they would, wouldn't they? But I think at least one qualification for vegan preaching is that, not only do you have the consent in the space you are in to preach, but also you yourself must be vegan, right? You're not there yet, are you, Sky Guardian? I think you were telling me that you want to be, but you're striving. Striving is good. And Jesus, you ask, am I a mathematician, right? Well, I could never take that title away from any great mathematicians. However, there is a soft spot in me for mathematics research. Absolutely. And yes, Jenna. See, everyone wants to know, how do you get a lot of followers on TikTok? Well, it's very easy. You just follow Yamsox, and then all of my impersonators will follow you. And other oracle mediums and bots. It's very easy. Do be careful. Ethan Spicy Consciousness. You share, hey Yam. You are working right now getting an apartment. Hopefully you get it. Wish you luck. All my best wishes to you, Ethan. In this age, in this economy, very impressive to get an apartment, and I'm sure it will feel like such an accomplishment when you do. And if you set your heart to it, I can't imagine the universe will hold you back from achieving that. G, you ask, how do you say Radhe or Radhe correctly? Well, it starts with an R sound, Ra. And the A sound that follows is prolonged. It's 2 times the length of the blink of the eye. About 2 blinks of the eye long. It's not Ra, it's Ra. And then it's Dhe, D-H-E. And 2 things to note, it's also 2 blinks of the eye long. It's also aspirated. So it's, instead of day, it's day. Day, 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 day. Some breath becomes released while you do it. And if you go back all the way to Vedic Sanskrit, that vowel A sound is actually a glide from A to E, very quickly. Ai, Ai. Radhe. And it means, "Oh Mother, O triple Shakti of the universe, how beautiful is your very essence, present in all creation, all creatures, and all creativity. You are the bliss-giving component of the universe. Beauty is your very name. Radhe, Radhe." You are very observant, Sky Guardian. You share that I seem to be having acid reflux these days. What happened? I do, don't I? I hope that it isn't too distracting for you all, and I thank you for your tolerance. Right now, I am trying to increase my vitamin B12 levels according to my doctor's wishes. It's the only thing on my blood test that needs some work. And having too alkaline of a system can decrease the absorption of B12. And so whenever I am having acid reflux, I just kind of let it be. Taking antacids could actually decrease the absorption of B12. So, whereas I used to take antacids a lot, I've just been kind of allowing it to be. And thank you, Jay, for your 11 bouncing beach volleyballs. Jai Sita Ram. And thank you, the link below, for your trio of fires. Hari Om Tat Sat. And you know, it's probably all the juice I drink. Juice is pretty acidic, or it can be. It's all the citric acid. Should probably cut down my juice drinking. And Catherine, the wise old owl, you share that kombucha counters acid reflux. What a perfect trade-off. Instead of juice, kombucha. Thank you. And Landon Benetti? No, tie-dyes. Landon Bennett tie-dyes, yes. You ask, can I tell you about the Vajra? Yes, that is... It is a Buddhist thing, isn't it? I think. Or am I thinking of something else? You tell me. You'll know. Is it the little Buddhist weapon in the bell that comes with it? Yes. There's one in my room. I'll bring it out for you. This is what you're talking about. This and the bell that often come in a pair. They have the same ornamentary top. These are ritualistic items used in Buddhism, particularly Tibetan Buddhism, I believe. Now, to tell you the truth, even though I've gone all the way to bring them out for you, I don't know much about them either. But what a lovely ring this has. Perhaps one of you know more about them, but I was very drawn to them too, so I picked myself up a pair, as you can see. They are quite lovely nonetheless. I agree, Magdalene. To Anna Banana, you share the bell, summon spirits. You are Tibetan. Well, good spirits, I hope. Vajra, Dhara, is also a Buddhist deity, and Vajra is your spiritual name. How lovely is that? I'm glad we have people who are wise enough to, to give us answers to this lovely pair of objects. Thank you, Anna Banana. And hello, Joanna. Welcome. And it's used for meditation, says Sky Guardian. That is right, I did recall that. And back to your vegan striving, Sky Guardian, you share that you can somewhat sympathize because it's hard to give up cheese when it tastes so good. So yeah, maybe one day you can give up the cheese. Very understandable. And hello, Dopamine Queen. Cheese is the best, says Dopamine Queen. Or sorry, Talon Downing. Yes, I love cheese. And Diana, you're wondering, what am I listening to? I'm listening to the same thing that all of you are listening to. The background music, as well as the feedback on my own mic, so I know if my levels are too loud or anything like that. And Kate, you say, I agree. Cheese is very good. We got a lot of cheese lovers here, hey? All in favor of cheese, say aye. I'm just kidding, don't do that. It's probably too late, but... Edson, you had asked, what are my thoughts on alcohol and spiritualism? Everyone's already saying aye. I think that alcohol can be a kind of suppressant. I mean, it very literally is classified as, a depressant, specifically. But what it does is it suppresses our intellect. When we are under the influence of alcohol, we don't feel burdened by choice. That's why it's so easier to make decisions that we wouldn't have to be stressed by, that we would be stressed by otherwise. It's also why drunk people make stupid decisions. Spiritually, we are supposed to be empowering ourselves with our freedom of will and our ability to make decisions and hold the space responsible for making big decisions properly. Because in life, some decisions are very hard to make, and it requires us to hold space for a lot of experiences and emotions that are not particularly comfortable. And when we don't want to feel all those feelings, we suppress them through substances such as alcohol. The problem is that it's like a loan. A loan may seem like free money, but we're really going into debt by withdrawing that money. And who are we in debt to? Our future selves. We take the money out now for our future self to come up with a way to pay it back later. So too, it may seem like a way to increase your happiness on a Friday, Saturday night out, but that happiness has to come from somewhere. You are taking it from the next day. That hangover is you paying back the debt because you are stealing happiness from your future self. Or for long-term addictions, we keep delaying the time we have to pay back that debt until we go through withdrawal. Spirituality can very much help with that process though. For example, I have heard that in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, that they often leave a seat empty. And the leader or whoever says, I don't care who you imagine sitting in that seat. If it's the Christ, if it's the Buddha, if it's Krishna, or if it's some guy named Bob. But you gotta believe in some higher power guiding you through this. It becomes nearly impossible not to. And it's a very strange statistic. The chance of people beating alcoholism who have been drinking for years is frighteningly low, as with a lot of addictions. But those whom find guidance in a higher power, their chances of beating the addiction skyrocket, which is amazing. And I know that my grandfather, for example, was such a beautiful soul and vibrant example of that. He was, one of the worst alcoholics you could imagine. He was in very, very, very deep. And, people thought he'd be dead within years. But I never knew him as that person, because that all happened before I was born. The person I saw was such a spiritual being. He found that higher power in Christianity, but it could have been anything. But he had such profound faith, and for him it was Jesus, that he was able to let go of that vice. And he's no longer with us today. But even at the moment of death, he told my mother, his daughter, that, have faith so strong that you are not afraid of death. And like that, he passed happily. So I think when it comes to addiction, especially alcoholism, that faith, that bhakti, that devotion towards something that is guiding you through it is going to be such an important factor for you. And yes, Gregor G, you have a good verse for faith. I'd be happy to read it. Ilya kills you, share. You knew someone that went through it, and they chose pizza as a higher power. But if it works, bleed it for them. All hail pizza. Bless it. Okay. I wasn't going to question it. Bleed it. Sounds like it could make sense, Let it course through your veins. Yes, do share, Greg RG. And it is time for me to prove to TikTok that I am a real human by passing the One Piece puzzle. Nice. I'm a human, guys. Finally. And thank you, Meh, it's Pidge, for your heart, me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Greg RG, you share. It's Hebrews 11:1-3. Okay, let's see if I can find it in my Bible next to me. If I can't, that's okay. There's always the internet. But I might as well make use of this beautiful Bible. That was my mother's. And her grandmother's, I think. Okay. Hebrews is on page 373. I don't get it. This happened last time. The pages don't correspond. This is Samuel. I don't get it. Why have a table of contents if it doesn't match? Alright. I'll look it up then. Hebrews 11:1-3. This is the New International Version. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. I love this. I see your connection you pointed out about nothing. The potential unmanifest. At first you can't see it, but it becomes visible through faith in it. That is very much true, especially when we are trying to conquer some aspect of ourselves. We might not see the way forward. We might not see our own potential, but it's there. We just have to believe in it. Thank you for sharing that, Greg RG. And thank you, Arthur, for your 10 tiny dinies. Yippee! And Janie, or Jenny, thank you for your 52 roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sky Guardian, you ask, if you believe you can fly, will you be able to fly? If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can ask a mountain to move, and it will. Just ask Hanumanji. But I see you asked if we can read from another section of the Vajra Amrut, and yes, we certainly can. So, without further ado, let us crack open this Book of Spiritual Discourses of Bhagwan Swami Narayan. This one is called Gadhada 133. Blind Faith, Love, and Understanding. On the evening of Posh Vadhi the 5th, Samvat 1876, or the 5th of January 1820, Sriji Maharaj, Swami Narayan, was sitting facing east on a large decorated cot on the veranda outside the room next to the mandir, the Hindu house of worship of Sri Vasudev Narayan in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhada. He was wearing a white case and had covered himself with a white cotton cloth. He had also tied a deep red or deep orange reto around his head. At that time, an assembly of munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Thereupon, Muktananda Swami asked, "The scriptures have described innumerable spiritual endeavors to please that source we call God. But amongst them all, which one is so powerful that it alone earns as much pleasure of God as is earned by performing all spiritual endeavors combined? Please reveal it to us." Now that's a tall order. What is that one way in which we may please that source, which is as good as all other ways combined? It almost sounds like he's asking for an easier way. Instead of doing all these things, oh Lord, what is that one thing I can do that's as good as the rest? Sriji Maharaj began by saying, "Please listen as I tell you the one spiritual endeavor by which God can be pleased." He then continued, "Accepting the firm refuge of God is the single greatest endeavor amongst all spiritual endeavors for pleasing God. That refuge, though, must be extremely firm and without any flaws. This refuge can be of 3 types. One way of having the refuge of God is with blind faith. If a person has intense blind faith, then even if someone such as Brahma, the Creator, were to attempt to deflect them from their refuge, he would not be able to deflect them. The second type is the firm refuge of God that is cultivated out of love. Even if a person possessing profound love for God forces themselves, they do not become attracted to any object other than God. This is known as firm refuge produced out of profound love. The third type is with understanding. A person who has profound intelligence understands the saguna nirguna, that with form and that without form, and anvay vyatirek, aspects of God. They understand the entities that have been created by God's Maya, the material existence, as well as the ways of God's avatars, descensions on earth. They also understand how, at the time of the creation of the cosmos, God behaves as Akshar, how God behaves as Prakriti Purusha, nature and personhood or consciousness, how God behaves as Virat Purusha, and how God behaves as Brahma, the creator, and other Prajapatis. They also comprehend how God works through Narada, a great saint, the Sanakadik, and others for the purpose of granting liberation to the jivas, the individual souls. They also understand all these methods. Moreover, they realize that Purushottam Bhagavan transcends everything and is absolutely unaffected. They who have such an insight is said to have a firm refuge of God using their intelligence. If someone tries to dissuade them, or even if they try to dissuade themselves, such a refuge never diminishes. Also, regardless of whether God, after assuming a human form, exhibits their divine powers or acts powerless, such a person's intellect would not harbor any doubts. Thereafter, Sriji Maharaj said, "If you allow me, I wish to ask a question." Muktananda Swami said, "Maharaj, please do ask." Thereupon, Sriji Maharaj asked, "Of the three inclinations I have just described to you, which is your inclination?" After all, although a combination of all three inclinations is generally present in all the devotees of divinity, the inclination that is predominant is said to be the inclination they possess. So, of the three, blind faith, love, and understanding, which is your inclination? Muktananda Swami and Brahmananda Swami both replied, "Our inclination is of understanding, jnana." Thereafter, the other sadhus also stated their own inclinations. And maybe that's a good moment to ask all of you, how do you wish to come to that source of existence? What is most appealing to you? Is it through blind faith, profound love, or through your intelligence, through knowledge and understanding? I am curious as well, but thank you for listening as we read from another section of the Vachanamrut. And we may return to our regular format. Tattvamasi, you share through jnana. G to infinity, you share through love. Dhyana as well. Arthur, you like blind faith. Marlene, you share through bhakti, love, devotion, love. And having fun, you say understanding. Dharma Boom, you share love as well. Catherine, you share blind faith. What about me? It's a good question. I definitely feel a combination of the three. Whereas before, I found understanding to be the most appealing. It can be overwhelming. So, for a while I have been practicing the path of love, I would say most predominantly. And Mr. Mate, you share, you're not sure. You never know what you want, and that's okay. You definitely don't have to know, especially not right now. And did I thank you, Arthur, for your 10 tiny dinies a few minutes ago? I believe I did. And then Janie, I thanked you, but Itza Bitza, I didn't thank you for your rose, so thank you for that. Hariom Tatsa. And Lee Kinnear, you share, what times am I on? You keep missing me. That is my fault today. Today I was on an hour later than usual because I was potting a plant, a very sacred plant, and the rituals to plant such a plant is a little elaborate and time-consuming. But generally I try for the same time every day, that is 5 p.m. Pacific time. But changes to my schedule is always on my Instagram story, which you can find through the link tree in my bio. If you're wondering why am I not live, well, there's probably an answer for you there. That said, we're coming up to the last week of the month in a few days, and I'll be doing an earlier time for all of my European viewers and everyone else who is in an earlier time zone. I'll be doing 5 hours earlier, which is 12 p.m. Pacific time. And if you ever forget, in my bio on here, on TikTok, you'll find the times for that. And thank you, Cubana, for your rose. Hariom Tatsat. And Aquarius Lady, thank you for your heart me. And my love you. My love you. It is your love you. It is our love you. Who can possess love? Nobody. For love is the possessor of all. Thank you. Radhe, Radhe. That's quite alright, Lee. And I appreciate that, Lisa. I hope that is all I could hope for, that this space is comforting in some way for you. And thank you, L-Wave Rider, for your trio of roses. Jai Sitaram. Slini, you share that you need help getting in touch with your cat who passed yesterday. Aww. Thank you for being such a lovely soul, having so much love for your cat. Although I may not know direct means of communing with your past beloved one, what I can say is that you are already connected with them through your love. Many years after one of my previous cats left their body, in a dream, they came to me and they hugged me, which is very, very funny for a cat. I'm not exactly sure how the geometry of it worked, the hug, but I was just hugging my cat. I said, "Oh my God, it's you, Cleo. You know, I love you so much and I miss you every day." And she said, "It's okay. You know, I love you so much that in my next life, I became a flower in your mother's garden so that I could always be near you." And it was this purple flower. She changed into the form of this flower, one that she would often lay under. You know, I think I woke up crying, and I told my mother this. And she said, we do indeed have a purple flower as you have described. She showed me. That was very healing for me. So that impression of that loved one, it's a part of you. And I think the communication through that impression will become natural for you as you grieve, as you process. Right now, there's such a transition. It is said that after one begins the process of death, the soul orbits around their body for 18 days or something like that. And the pranas, the 5 vayus, are leaving the body one by one. There can be a lot of movement. And maybe not right away you'll be able to have that connection with them. But as long as that love is there, you won't lose the ability to. She is there. He is there. A part of you. Sunshine, you share. They say we are visited in our dreams by loved ones, so they don't scare us while we are awake. I love that. And thank you, Catherine, for your tiny a moment ago. Yippee! And thank you, L-Wave Rider, for another flowers. Slinny, you ask as well. May you ask what my beliefs are. I think I believe in belief itself. You know, whatever you believe in, as long as it's consistent and working for you, I only wish to empower that. I think that the truth of the universe is so much more expansive than any of us are led to believe, that it can't be summed up by any set of words, nor labels, nor ideologies. Whatever you believe in, be it genuine, and by genuine I mean sincere. I believe that too, for you. Thank you for your presence here, Catherine. May you have a good night whenever you get there. James Music, you ask, do I do readings or one-to-ones? Well, for the safety of all of you and the well-being of your wallets, there are a number of accounts that bear my name and likeness, which claim to do readings and other such spiritual services. I don't do any of these things. However, in any way I can help you, that is within my capacity to, I will. But I can read for you an excerpt from the Bhagavad Gita. This is a little book that we've been reading together, a page at a time. Pema is a wonderful Buddhist nun, one of the wisest women in the world. And here, let us read number 62 for you. Look for the gaps. In my own training, I've been taught to look for the gaps. The gap at the end of each out-breath, the space between thoughts, the naturally occurring non-conceptual pause after a sudden shock, unexpected noise, or moment of awe. Trungpa Rinpoche advised intentionally creating these gaps by pausing to look at the sky or stopping to listen intently. He called this poking holes in the clouds. These fleeting moments of no big deal me, no internal conversations, no frozen opinions, are very simple, yet powerful. The utter freshness of just being present introduces us to unshakable confidence, a lion-like pride that refuses to buy into any negative or limiting storylines. I like that. Thank you for listening with me. Thank you, Kayla, for your finger heart. Arion Tat Sat. Ilya kills, you ask. Do I like yams? Oh, you're asking everyone. Do you all like yams? Well, to answer your question from me, I do like yams. I love yam fries. Feral Merman, you shared that you feel like if I were kidnapped, I would give my kidnapper a spiritual awakening. I might as well, while I have the opportunity. Who is it who has kidnapped who? For it seems as though you have kidnapped I. But who am I to you? Am I this body, this abode of flesh and bones? Or am I immortal consciousness, your very own home? Rather, it is your own desires that have kidnapped you, your own fleeting sensations of gaining control that have taken control over you. It may seem as though that I am the kidnapped and you are the kidnapper, but the truth is that you have only kidnapped yourself. Now please, hand me the keys to my handcuffs. And as you unfree me, I shall free you. And thank you, Dub Darker, for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Tanya, you ask, how did I get so spiritual? Where else do we have to turn to when no other pathway to happiness appears to be viable? As we search everywhere in this world for peace, the only place left to look is within. Andrea, you ask, what are my favorite books to read by yourself? The one which comes out of your very own imagination. You may read the words of others. That is fine. But read through your own journal. And my, oh my, will your understanding of life soar. That's not to say all of us should become narcissistic and believe only what we've experienced. Rather, we should assume that what we're looking for is already within our experience, and then dive into that part of you and see what's there to explore. Tatvamasi, you ask if there are any new additions to my journal. Indeed there are, but I don't have it with me. It's in the other room at the moment. Thank you, Louisa, for your rose a moment ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Jenny, thank you for your baker's dozen worth of roses. And another 9 and a half dozen. Hari Om Tat Sat. Michael, you share that your girlfriend broke up with you 3 days ago, and yesterday you cried your eyes out, and now you feel lost. I think if you didn't cry your eyes out, nor feel lost, then you must be doing something wrong. Crying is one way in which we authentically express ourselves to the universe, as proof that we have loved and lost. Feeling lost also is a good sign that we are now wandering, making our way back to understanding, finding ourselves again. And that's all good. The breakup, maybe not so good. But the crying, the feeling lost, very good. It shows that you're processing, and that is something that you need to do. And you will learn from this experience, and you will love again. But the heart wants what the heart wants in this moment. And what the heart wants to do is grieve, so let it. And thank you, L-Wave Rider, for your rose and owl a moment ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. You know, I just remembered my dream from last night. I don't know what provoked this remembrance, but I had a dream that it was like a post-apocalyptic world because dinosaurs had come back. But it was different than Jurassic Park. It wasn't like some scientists in a laboratory grew them again. It's like they awoke from the earth. And suddenly they were everywhere. It was quite the dream. Completely unrelated. I just thought I'd share. And thank you, Van Gogh Vroom, for your pair of roses. Hari Om Tat Sat. You're very welcome, Michael. In any way in which I can affirm you during these trying times, I would be honored to, because I know that heartbreak is such a difficult thing to go through. But it is worth it. Not only is the love worth it, the heartbreak is also incredibly powerful at transforming us. Let that heart break. Just let it break open, and that light will shine. I forgive you, Sky Guardian. And I am sorry for any way in which I seem to not reflect the teachings of your Guru. As Swami Tadatmananda Ji has my utmost respect. And no, it wasn't the tiny diny in my dream. There were 4 giant dinies. And hello, little wing Nico as well. And you just had an amazing warrior Reiki session. And how am I? That sounds wonderful. I like that idea. Empowering you to be a warrior. We are all warriors in some way. Especially when it comes to the battle taking place within. So much conflict. Always at odds with our emotions, with our mind, sometimes even with our body. And Mount St. Godel Organics, thank you for the you're amazing. I'll be Keanu Reeves for a moment. You're amazing. Hari Om Tat Sat. Bubbles you share. What's beautiful here is us finding our way back to ourselves. Like we went to such lengths to forget. I sometimes wonder. Imagine being an enlightened being, and the question arises, would I forego my own enlightenment just to find my way back again? I wonder. Maybe that's a big misinterpretation of what being enlightened is like. But I think there is a beautiful idea there. That we have embarked on this quest to discover ourselves for a reason. You would never do that, says Sky Guardian. But enlightenment lasts an eternity. An eternity. How can you say that 1 billion years into enlightenment, this idea never comes up for you? I don't know. Just a funny idea. And I like that, Bubbles. The joke of it is, quote unquote, nobody gets enlightened. You keep mistyping today. That's okay. I had a dream about mistyping something over and over again. I was getting really frustrated in my dream. I just couldn't type at all. Every time I would try to spell a word, it would always come out wrong. Have you ever had that dream? I asked my friend the other day and they said no. Wonder how common it is. You've had that dream before. It can be frustrating when once you send something, it's almost set in stone. Nowadays, many apps have this feature where you can edit what you wrote, which is very forgiving. I like that. But in some places, like you're in this TikTok comment section, for example, what is sent is sent. There are no takebacks. You can fix your error and cross your fingers that the person reading will find the way to your error and retroactively, in their mind, understand what way we have made the mistake. But life is like that sometimes. We aren't always guaranteed that the remedy for our own mistakes will be received well by everyone, even though we are doing everything in our capacity to mend our errors. At midnight, you shared that you keep having night terrors. I have just the remedy for you. Now, mind you, it might take a few months until this spiritual vaccination takes place. Our subconscious is seeded by all the thoughts that we implant in it during the day. I'll give you an example. My father, I love him, but he has these terrible nightmares. And sometimes he's complaining about how graphic they are. Like Freddy Krueger ripping him up into shreds, getting blown up. Very violent dreams. And he's talked to his doctor about it. He says, I can't figure it out, It might be the medications I'm on. My father. And yet, on any afternoon or evening for the last 20 years or so, what is he doing? He's watching some action movie where people are getting blown up, or a documentary on a serial killer, or he's reading about the gruesome effects of war, or he's reading the news about all the terrible things that are happening in the world. He's feeding his mind with all of this negativity. And I can't figure out why I'm having nightmares, he says. Well, I can. Fortunately, the solution is just the reverse of that. During the day, are you thinking happy thoughts? Alright, you're reading the news, but are you paying attention to the good stuff that's happening all of the technological advancements and the change that people are fighting for. You're reading about history, that's great, but how have we learned from that? How are we still growing? You're watching an action movie, no problem. Maybe you would also like some romantic movies. Maybe there's other genres of cinematography that suit your interest too. If you feed your mind happy things, I am more than confident that you will also dream of such things also. But the most important source of material is what remains in our mind. If we tell ourselves good things, if we keep love, affirmation in our mind, I think there's almost a stigma behind it, which is funny. Maybe you can hear me out. Consider my father, for example. How old is he? He's 50-something. Could you imagine a 50-something-year-old trying to tell themselves, I love myself, I have so much potential, I'm worthy? For someone grown up in the 60s, being an old, not that old, but a man, that's not very manly, is it? To be manly, I gotta discipline myself. I gotta point out all my own errors. But what good does that do? Especially as men, we have to get past the stigma of loving ourselves. Which is funny. Some people think it's not attractive to love yourself. You gotta be gruff. But let me ask all the people who are attracted to men here. Isn't one of the most attractive traits in a man how they have love for themselves? And not just a man, but anyone. The more you are capable of loving yourself, the more there is love within you to give to others, and you become a very suitable romantic partner. But this has been a tangent from our original point, that the thoughts that we tell ourselves during the day, they are the seeds for what blossom in our subconscious. Sky Guardian, you shared that you once had a dream that you were a Digimon tamer. That was your favorite dream. Did I ever have one? I grew up on Pokemon. That's really cool, though. I don't know if I've ever dreamed of Pokemon. But that's a wonderful dream. I've dreamt of many video games. And I have a lot of dreams that take place in Bikini Bottom, the setting for SpongeBob SquarePants. I grew up on that show. A lot of dreams hanging out with my boys. SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton. Gary, that's right. That sounds like a nightmare. I could see that. Dionysus, thank you for that finger heart a few minutes ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Midnight, thank you for your pair of paper cranes. Very beautiful origami and a dancing flower. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jazzman, I like your idea of doing a group meditation sometime. I like that. At the end of this live, in a half an hour or so, we will do a little meditation session together as we listen to a kind of mantra from Shintoism. I believe that it's not exactly called a mantra. In Shinto, it's called Norito, if I'm pronouncing that right. So we'll be listening to a Shinto Norito today. And thank you, Saturnus, for your heart me as well. Jai Sitaram. Chloe, you share that you feel so lonely and you have no one to talk to. Any advice? Well, you are welcome to talk to anyone here who is open to it. I am sure whatever you are going through, there are others here that can resonate with you. And anyone who would like to volunteer to be someone to listen to Chloe, that would make me very happy to see. Additionally, when there is no one to talk to, we can talk to the stars, we can talk to the moon, the plants, the trees, the wind in the sky. It might sound silly, but I've definitely taken that up when I've ran out of people who would understand. And the universe is a very good listener, let me tell you. The universe never says, wait, hold on, I wasn't listening, can you say that again? The moon never says, slow down, I'm having a hard time hearing. The tree never says, 1 second, I gotta go check on the stove. Always is it there. Some philosophers wonder, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody is around to listen, wait a second, how can nobody be around to listen? The forest itself will listen, isn't it? That very subject of life which we are is still present in everything around us also. We knew this very much as children, didn't we? If you look at a child's artwork, almost everything has a smiley face. Their fruit have smiles, the sun in the sky, the trees. Their stuffed animals. Everything that you draw, it's not complete until you put 2 eyes and a smile on it. And this is by no mistake. It's not like we were taught to do this. It is only natural for us to find life within everything. It is just as we grow up that we forget this ability we have to sympathize with our environment and find a reflection of ourselves within it. If you ask your inner child about this, they will show you how to never be alone again. And Midnight, Thank you for another little crown a minute ago. Radhe, Radhe. And Bobby Sue, thank you for your specialty of a heart meet, a team bracelet, and a cheer you up. Jai Sitaram. What the heck, Little Wing Nico? I don't believe you. I will have to see proof of that. That's funny. Hello, Burnt Cake. And Skinny Bob, thank you for your pair of roses a few minutes ago. And Lion Piog, thank you for your pair of roses also. And Dionysus, thank you for your quintet of roses. Radhe, Radhe. And Chloe, you share, everyone is so quick to judge rather than advise. It is funny, isn't it? We all want to help, but we become impatient with it. And we are under the impression that to help is to judge, is to put everything in a box, help you label the things, as if we couldn't do that ourselves. But what we really need is someone to listen, to empathize, to understand. I've definitely learned this the hard way, especially with romantic partners in my life. Girlfriend upset with something, I start pointing out, have you tried doing this and that? And then they flare up. Yes, of course I've tried this and that. I'm not looking for a solution. I'm confiding in you so that you understand how I'm feeling, so that I feel valid in feeling like this. Oh. Gotcha. And then I forget the next time. Every time I seem to forget. You're telling me your problem's not for me to fix them, but so that you have someone to tell them to. It is funny. The most help we can do is by not trying to help. At least not in the way we think we are, but rather to help by listening, just being with them. Isn't it so? Kate, you share yes. A rule of thumb. Do you seek solutions or comfort before responding? That's a very wise and emotionally mature question. And thank you, Feline, for your rose a minute ago. Jai Sitaram. And Little Wing Nico, thank you for your cloud bread and ice cream cone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Baby Belly, thank you for your tiny. Yahoo! Obsidian, you ask, when does it become soup? Perhaps it is easier to ask, when is it not soup? You could consider the entirety of the universe a part of a cosmic soup. Therefore, what is soup and what is not soup is a trivial matter. If it exists, it is soup. The answer will be yes. And Greg RG, you are wondering if we can read a possible verse from the Tao Te Ching. Absolutely. It is on my desk. I will have to reach for it. 1 second. You know, you are also so patient. Whenever I leave for a moment, I come back. I am always surprised to see you all here. I think a part of me believes that you will all run away. Now's our chance. Here, I've brought the Tao Te Ching. Sounds good, little Wing Nico. I look forward to our continued gardening. Let us read number 58 from the Tao Te Ching, The Way of Life by Lao Tzu. The less a leader does and says, the happier their people. The more a leader struts and brags, the sorrier their people. Often, what appears to be unhappiness is happiness, and what appears to be happiness is unhappiness. Who can see what leads to what when happiness appears and yet is not? When what should be is nothing but a mask, disguising what should not be, who can but ask? To end to such a stupid plot. Therefore, a sound man shall so square the circle, and circle the square as not to injure, not to impede. The glow of their life shall not daze, it shall lead. Thank you for listening. And Sky Guardian, you are wondering, why is the Tao Te Ching book all beat up, especially when I didn't read at all? This is a very old book, actually. I mean, the original Tao Te Ching is many centuries old, but this copy is from 1980. So it's had, 44 years of wear and tear now. I think it arrived in my possession in a miraculous way. I can't exactly remember how I found this book, but it was definitely in the middle of nowhere. I found it in nature. Who is to say what the creatures of the forest were up to? Trying to read the way of life. Sunshine, you share, you were never patient till you had your first child. Then you had to be. That's very understandable. Baby Belly, thank you for your tiny. Yippee! And thank you Feline for another rose. And Star Bunny, thank you for your rose. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Gardening Gregor G, you share the woodland creatures trying to learn the Tao for you. Indeed. You know, the groundhog's coming to try to teach you. But you won't listen. Thank you up the freeway for your heart, me. And thank you, Crystal, for your heart, me, with your trio of tiny tinies. Yahoo! And Marielle, you share. This is off topic, but you're really curious about the galaxy backdrop. Is it an effect or projector? It is, well, neither. It is a video. In fact, you all can see the video. Here, check this out. Ready? Now I am one with the universe. I have transcended. But I just record, or not record, I take out that which is blue, like a blue screen, and the tapestry behind me does have some blue in it, and so I remove the blue color and put a real galaxy behind it. And that's fun. And it works on other things too, like Radha and Krishna. Here they are flying through the universe. Or Pema Chodron. There she is, flying through the universe. Or the Bhagavad Gita. Wow. I am holding the book of the universe in my hand. Or Pramukh Swami Maharaj. A little bit. Swami Narayan. It's fun. Hello, Donna. Yes, your intuition was correct. It was not me. I definitely don't take donations for a reading. So I thank you for knowing better. And I am sorry if it caused any confusion on your end. Now you'll have to try this with some of your paintings. Isn't that fun? I am sure it would go very lovely for you. What else do I have? I have this yantra. I think maybe the squares of this yantra. The magic square. Or the shape here. Fun.
or even my eyes perhaps, since they are blue. And the Yamsox, it appears. How fun. Mr. Mate, you ask, how might you sharpen your ability for compassion towards others? I like the word choice you use. Sharpen. Well, with anything that needs sharpening, you need a tool. A tool which will glide along that which you are sharpening to create an edge. What is that tool for? Compassion. It means putting yourself out there into difficult circumstances where your compassion can be utilized. For example, consider a part of your community which could benefit from your service. Maybe there are people who are less fortunate than you are. Throwing yourself into the service of that community will force you to sharpen your compassion. Or maybe there's someone in your life, your family, a friend, who could use some compassion also. Through the practice of utilizing it, that practice itself serves as the file upon which you sharpen the edge of compassion. But most importantly, the greatest practice for compassion is with ourselves. I don't care who you are. Everyone has some insecurity that there is more potential. And this is a blessing and not a defect. The universe itself has given us insecurities so that we may come to know what it's like to deepen our love for our own being. Therefore, look after a part of yourself. Ask, is there something that I could be more compassionate about when it comes to my insecurities? Then, as you learn to practice that with yourself, so too you can connect with those who experience similar things. Hello, Fred. And thank you, Rachel, for your heartbeat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hello, Zonk. You ask, how old am I? I am 22. Wi-Fi you share. Your hair is growing. Indeed. Right now. Can you feel it? How many fractions of a millimeter per second? You're catching up. That's right, Rob. There are 2 socks on my mic. Boopy, you ask, what's the thing behind me? You want one? It's a wall. I'm sure you've got one. Burnt cake, you share that feeling hair grow in real time sounds intense. That'd be very overstimulating, I imagine. Hello, Jesse. Android son, you ask, do I ever feel like I need to live more in the shadow side of my psyche? The shadow is there for us to discover, to shed more light upon. So yeah, absolutely, there is light to shine there that deserves to be shone. Drew Huff, you ask, what happened to all of my videos? The ops got them. Took them away. Just kidding. I privated them. And thank you, Rachel, for another rose from you a moment ago. And Shakira, thank you for your heart, me. Hari Om Tat Sat. I was the op all along. It's funny. We usually are. Kai Bean, you shared that you had a dream of me last night. Did I do that? What kind of magic is that? If I left an impression on you, all I can hope for is that it was a kind impression. I don't mind appearing in anyone's dreams as long as I am kind to you and them. I'll take accountability for the versions of me in your dreams that are not. I'll have to talk to them for you. Discipline them. Hey, you weren't being kind in so-and-so's dream. Thank you, Cookie. Now, I believe it's probably a good time to start wrapping things up for tonight. However, there are a few things I'd love to go through with you before we do. I would like to ask you all a question of the day. Then we'll do a short reading from In Love at Ease. And we'll do a short meditation, just a 4-minute one at the end, on a Shinto Norito, a song sung in Japanese, I believe, from the Shinto tradition. And that is true, Mariah. We are not responsible for the versions of you that people make in their heads. But I'll happily become friends with the version of them, of me, in their heads. If they let me. Now I have a question of the day for you all. My question of the day today for you all is, if you could give one thing to everyone, what would it be? If somehow you could press a magic button and you were able to give one thing to everyone, what do you think everyone could need, could use? Funny answers also allowed, of course. Compassion, says Star Bunny. That is a wonderful thing. Inner peace, says Fairy Dust. Peace, says Paula. Gregor G, you would give them thanks for whatever they think is their greatest accomplishment. Wow. That is so wonderful and so personal. Kate and Tanya, you share kindness. Crystal, you share self-love. Shannon, you share wisdom. Marie, you share comfort. It is hard to pick just one, isn't it, Sacredness? Perhaps Insight shares Commander of Dragons. I like that. Geez, says Mr. Mate. Water, says Kate. Shakira, you'd give everyone a hug. I love to hear it. Miss Mariah, you would give the grace that they give to everyone else but themselves. That's so sweet. And Christine, you would give love. Grey Work, you would give world peace. That is quite a thing to give to everyone. Ursula shares thankfulness. Sacredness, you share awareness and belief that happiness, even total bliss, is simply a choice you get to make every moment. You know what I love about that answer? That it's not that you would give them total bliss. You would give them the empowerment to make that choice for themselves. And I think that is very much in alignment with what the universe or the source has given us. It is not our destiny to be blissful by inheritance. However, it is our destiny that we get to make that decision, isn't it? And somehow that is even more empowering. But I do like just the idea of giving bliss alone or peace. Crystal, you give authenticity. Vistiel, you give health. Vicky, you would give a good laugh. I like that answer. Pardon me. Could you imagine if you could push a button and suddenly everyone would be laughing? Man, a lot of conflicts that are happening right now would suddenly cease. This guy, you would give empathy. Bala, you would give peace. Rehab and Rob Bryce, you would give love. Tanya shares self-respect. Anna shares sense of humor. I like that. Maya, you would give serenity, or in your native tongue, serenidad. Gratitude shares Rob Price. Mariel, you would give unending, genuine joy. I love the way you put that. Cookie, you share health. With health comes happiness, peace, and everything is still possible. Beautiful. Mr. Mate says enlightenment. What a weird world that would be, though. If everyone was enlightened tomorrow. Definitely. Vicky, you share laughter. Connor shares music. You share money. And Shannon, you would share the remembrance that you are a god. Happiness, says Feline. Jason, you share to be able to feel the love that permeates the universe and lives inside all things and beings. So wonderful. Kai Bean, you share potato salad. Oh, I could definitely use some potato salad right now. Let me tell you. Veronica, you share complete knowledge, because if you have knowledge, everything else comes along with it. Very wise. Crystal, you share there would be no point of Earth if everyone were enlightened tomorrow. Right? We'd all be like, let's all go home. What are we doing here? Let us merge back in unity. Or maybe the show must go on. We go, all right, we're all enlightened now, but wasn't it better the other way around? Tell you what, let's all pretend we're not enlightened, and we'll keep the show going. And maybe that's happened already. I snap my fingers, you all forget you're enlightened. I was never enlightened. Joanna Rubio, thank you for your baker's dozen worth of roses. And JC, thank you for your tiny. Yippee! And Beat, thank you for your heart meme. Radhe. And thank you everyone for exploring this question of the day today with me. I love all of your very bright answers and funny ones. Now I'm hungry for potato salad. I also appreciate those who take the extra effort to type out what the fullest answer they can fit is within the confines of a TikTok comment. The variety of both is very good. And Alina, thank you for your heart meet, yo. Hari Om Tat Sat. Star Bunny, you share, feels like thinking about it might make it actually happen. You are wise, you. Let us read from another section of In Love at Ease. This is a book about everyday spirituality with Pramukh Swami Maharaj, the guru of millions of people, very well known, perhaps not to many of us here in the West, although he does have many centers throughout the whole world. One of his devotees, named Yogi Trivedi, wrote this book in honor of him, and we were recounting 3 stories that took place in Yogi's life that really meant a lot to him. The first was about how Pramukh Swami Maharaj apologized to him when he was just a little boy. I am sorry. And now everyone in the community, they would always mention it. Hey, there's the kid that you apologized to. You know, being a big spiritual master. It's not often that you silence everyone by taking accountability. It's, you know, it wasn't rare in his life per se, but many people in that role might not realize the beauty and effectiveness of having such humility. The second story was about his birthday and how he was sick, and he still cared and remembered his birthday. And this short story is called Faith and Trust Are the Ultimate Markers of Love. So let us read. In December 2010, I started my doctorate coursework at Columbia University in the city of New York. I hit a major speed bump in terms of my health and a few individuals around me. I felt abandoned and lost. I was willing to ask them for forgiveness, but the issues had become personal, and it seemed that neither party knew how to make amends. The situation continued for a few months, and Swami Shri eventually called me to India to hear my side of the story. I traveled to India, but it had become almost impossible to meet him because of his health and daily routine. It was my last day in Mumbai, and I sadly came to the realization that I may have to fly home without being able to sit face to face with him. On that last morning, Swami Shri spotted me from across the hallway as an attendant sadhu wheeled him away. Swami Shri stopped the attendant, pointed at me, and called me with his finger. The room fell silent. I walked closer, while others tried to put off the meeting because of his schedule and health. Swami Shri was adamant. "I want to meet him. I will meet him. Everyone, please let us be now." A divider panel was set up on the side, and I walked over and knelt by his wheelchair. I looked into his eyes, and then a dam broke behind my eyes. A waterfall of tears from carrying the burden of the past few months now flowed onto the Guru's garments. We did not speak for the first few minutes. He wiped my eyes with the garment wrapped around his upper body. He stroked my head as it laid in his lap. He then asked me to explain the entire predicament to him, and I responded by unloading once again, this time with passion and anger. He smiled and said, "Tell me what happened without telling me how you feel." I stopped sobbing and regained my composure. I explained the sequence of events. Swami Shri listened patiently, interrupting when necessary with his own questions about my narrative. Sadhus routinely came in to remind Swami Shri about the time. He waved all of them away, including a senior sadhu in charge of the fellowship in Mumbai. Swami Shri was quite harsh, and rightfully so, in his critique of my actions. He eventually asked me why none of the other elders had intervened. He named individuals. I remained silent. Swami Shri looked at me and instructed, "Listen to what I tell you now. Calm yourself, control yourself, steady yourself. The greatest of spiritual aspirants and masters feel emotions without giving into those feelings. A storm on the outside must be met with composure on the inside. Circumstances in life will always be difficult. You cannot find the right circumstances to live life. Rather, you must steady and strengthen yourself to face whatever comes your way. Faith is the foundation of your stability." Do you believe in God? In His love for you? In His promise to stand by you? Do you believe in your Guru? That he will always be there for you, even when it seems as if he is not? Have firm faith in the belief that God and Guru are the only ones who will stand for you, by you, behind you. I was silent. I felt as if Swami Shri had just delivered the core address of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to me in that moment. Swami Shri continued, "Besides, if this had not happened, Yogi, How would you have learned that there is no one in the entire community, the entire world, the entire universe who loves you more, who you can call your own, who you can trust blindly, other than God and Guru, other than me? Close your eyes and think of me when you feel alone. I will be there for you. There will come a time when I will be sitting across from you and may not say a word, may not look at you, may not even recognize you. But have faith that I am listening to you and standing by you. Faith and trust are the ultimate markers of love. The meeting ended with laughs as sadhus rushed in to have a glimpse of Swami Shri before he was wheeled into his room. I could not move from my spot. Not only had my Guru given me the strength to deal with a particular ailment, he also gave me a mantra to take on life with all its difficulties. Swami Shri had emphasized the need for inner stability and strength derived from faith in the divine and the spiritual master. There were strong undercurrents of perseverance and persistence as well. I boarded a flight to New York later that night, thus raised and ushered in the right direction. Swami Shri's tone and voice were bold. He was less forgiving than ever before, but certainly just as loving and understanding. There was a progression in the 3 interactions that started with coddling to comforting and finally preparing me to take on life's difficulties. Care, concern, and empathy had turned into empowerment, instruction, and direction. Charitras, interactions with God and Guru, are the most accessible form of scripture in Hindu theology. Each interaction teaches and at the same time brings joy. Each interaction relates to one's own trials and tribulations in life. It is not an abstract concept tucked away in the fold of a classical language, but rather an everyday example of spirituality. In this book, I use interactions with Swami Shri to express valuable spiritual lessons from his life. I share these 3 interactions not to highlight my proximity to the Guru, but to show how he walked with his followers consistently and patiently. He was a constant, dependable presence in people's lives, and later, in their children's and grandchildren's lives. Whenever they stumbled and needed a hand to help them stand up again, I was not alone, nor was I special. These 3 interactions from my life can be replaced by thousands of interactions from the lives of others, many of them not identifying as Swami Narayan or even Hindu. The experiences shared in this book speak for themselves, and for that reason, I intentionally do not over-explain them, because it is simply not needed. The emotion is tangible and sometimes raw. These interactions naturally and organically conveyed the universal and timeless lessons of selfless love and service, faith in God, equality and mutual respect, humility and unpretentious, easy spirituality and morality. They resonate with people from all walks of life which is maybe why Pramukh Swami Maharaj was a guide to millions of people from diverse religious, cultural, social, and ethnic backgrounds. Pramukh Swami Maharaj's outward appearance could fool many and lead them to believe that he was unremarkable. He wrapped himself in 2 saffron garments. He wore a saffron headdress tied using a 3rd cloth. His head was shaved, leaving only a thin tuft of hair in the back. His hands were always folded, and his eyes flickered around the room, only to convey a sense of calm to others. In his hands, or in front of him, one always noticed a small murti, divine image of Bhagavan Swami Narayan, as a sign of his servitude to the divine. Though Pramukh Swami Maharaj looked and lived like a Gujarati Hindu monk attached to the Swami Narayan tradition, his life and lessons reached far beyond his community and temporal boundaries. Over the last 100 years, he taught millions to walk on the spiritual path and in turn helped shape a large portion of the society we live in. In this publication, I attempt to show Pramukh Swami Maharaj to the reader, not through his life's seemingly tangible accomplishments and achievements, of which there are thousands, but rather through the impact that these everyday social and spiritual lessons have had on millions of yogis, individuals, families, villages, communities, leaders, and nations. This is the story that I believe remains untold. And there we will pause our reading through the introduction of In Love at Ease, Everyday Spirituality with Pramukh Swami Maharaj. So I thank you all for listening. And what a lovely concluding story from the Guru. I look forward to many more. And Nene, thank you for your heartmate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Tatvamasi, you ask, how does a good disciple see their Guru as? Ultimately, in the spiritual path, we have all heard it said before, the seeker is the sought. Who we are looking for is none other than our very own self. A guru is your divine mirror for you to see yourself without distortion, just as you are. An amplifier for your own self-awareness. And Tattvam Asi, thank you also for your trio of roses. And Yankee, thank you for your pair of TikToks. Jai Sitaram. Now we're going to be ending our live stream soon, but not before we listen to a Shinto Norito, a kind of mantra from Shintoism, which is the predominant religion of Japan. I put quotation marks around it because, well, Shintoism is more than just a religion. Almost everyone in Japan practices some form of Shinto, yet at the same time, most people in Japan don't identify themselves as religious, which is funny. How can the majority of followers of a religion not consider themselves religious? That is the mystery and elegance of Shinto, one of the many traditions of the East. And today we will be listening to a song as we meditate together for the last 4 minutes of this live. Without further ado, I have minimized the background music so we may maximize this wonderful song. And just before I begin, I will put the title of this song in chat in case anyone else wants to find it. It is Hifumi Norito.
Thank you for listening, everyone, and for suggesting that we listen to it. Gregor, I very much appreciate that. And many of you, I'm sure, have enjoyed that as much as me. I love that. How wonderful. And what is the name of this song? I put it in chat. It's Hifumi Norito. That's Hifumi. Hifumi. Norito. Norito. Good night, burnt cake. And thank you, Yankee, for another TikTok a few minutes ago. And the link below. Thank you for your hanging lights. Jai Sitaram. And Ron, thank you for your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Gregor G, you like how they ended it on the fundamental and the ad-libs, like the bird sounds. Animals make the best ad-libs. And thank you, Sky Guardian, for the reminder. I have to upload 2 batches today, since I forgot yesterday. The batches are in reference to the chanting or meditation or kirtana sessions that we do here, as well as the readings. If ever you want to just listen to the readings by themselves, they are in their own dedicated playlists, as well as the meditation sessions that we do. Thanks to Sky Guardian volunteering to clip them for us, which I am very grateful for. They're on the same... They're on the same channel as the place that I upload this to, this whole live stream. That is the Yamsox Lives YouTube channel. YAMSOX space LIVES. Ding. I should come up with a jingle for that, perhaps. If typing that out isn't your forte, there is my link tree in my bio, which links to it as its first link at the moment. There's also my ASMR channel, which might be appealing to you. If you like spirituality and you also like relaxation, we've been reading through the Bhagavad Gita ASMR style. That is to say, we've been whispering it with rain sounds in the background. And there's some other lovely, pardon me, goodies out there. In case you want to check it out. Otherwise, that's all I have to share with you all. So thank you for being here tonight with me, or whatever time it is for you. I always appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and be a fellow student of life on this infinite journey. And thank you, waste of time, for your hand hearts and your heart me. Hari Om Tat Sat. Clement, you ask, how do you pronounce the name of the book you are holding? Bhagavad Gita. Well, it is pronounced pretty much exactly how you expect. The only difference that you might not come to know yourself is that the H is there for a reason. It isn't just any voiced labial consonant. It is an aspirated voiced labial consonant. It's not Bhagavad Gita. It's Bhagavad Gita. Also, the E and the A of Gita, they are long. Gita. You basically sing it. You explode on the first syllable, Bhagavad, and then sing the next word, Gita. Bhagavad Gita. That's how I would pronounce it anyway. It is Sanskrit for divine song. Bhagavan means of God. Gita means song. It is the song of God. The divine song. Bhagavad Gita. Now, just before we go,
Amanda, you ask an important question. Any advice for releasing fear when pursuing a relationship and fear of rejection? I will tell you one of the wisest things I've ever heard. When it comes to rejection, you already have your no. You're just waiting for your yes. You might not get it, which is fine. You'll still be as you are already. Because it's not like you're waiting to receive either a no or a yes. You already have the no. The yes is just a bonus. Consider it like this. You are already rejected. You just have yet to be accepted. That's a funny way of thinking about it. Pushes you past the barrier of being rejected. You've already been rejected. How's that? It's a funny idea, but a powerful one. And happy Monday, Laura. You ask, what's the good message for today? Today I would say, just as Neem Karoli Baba would say, love everybody. And tell the truth. Love everybody and tell the truth. And I love that, Kate. In acceptance of a no, you open the potential for a yes. So wise. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. And Joanna, thank you for your heart me and 7 roses. As we end today's Sangha, may this be an offering to Sri Radha Krishna. So beautiful. As they are all of you. They are the whole universe and everything in between and beyond. Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Shyam Shyam, Radhe Radhe. May you all have a beautiful rest of your present moment. I will see you all next time.